Hey, y'all. It is Dr. K. It is so good to come and chat with you all. It's been a minute since I've posted anything out here. Hopefully, if you're someone that follows me on multiple platforms, you have at least been getting fed from whether it's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, or even you may be a part of my private Facebook group. But I have not posted a video in quite a while out here on YouTube land, but it's been busy, but to God be the glory. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be in a place where God can use what the enemy meant for bad and turn it around for my good and allow me to be a blessing to so many women and help walk them through their journeys. And so I wanted to come on today just to share a little bit about believing. So many times it's easy for us, especially if you are a believer, if you're a Christian, to say, I believe God and, there's nothing God can't do. I was guilty of saying that. And then God had to check me last year because my actions weren't lining up with what my words were saying. I was saying that I believed him and that I was trusting him in this particular situation, but I wasn't doing anything actively that represented that I believed. So let me just tell you a little bit, because I know you're probably like, what is she talking about? Can she just get to the point? So last year we sold our home literally 2 weeks before the pandemic and everything went on a shutdown. But prior to that, I had been saying, my house is going to sell fast. It's going to happen quickly. And I was having a conversation with my coworker because she too was selling her home and it had been up for a while. And I told her, I'm like, mine is going to sell quick. I'm telling you, it's going to happen real fast. And I kept saying that, but I wasn't really doing anything to prepare. Like I hadn't really packed. I, maybe packed a couple boxes. I hadn't figured out who was going to help us, load the truck. I hadn't made a reservation for a truck. I hadn't done any of those things, but I was declaring it was going to happen fast. So I met with the realtor. We put the house up, and literally within, I believe it was like 2 weeks, if not less than that, the house was under contract. And so even with that happening quickly and things moving along, in my mind, I'm saying, based on what I've heard from other people and what I've seen, that, the closing is going to get pushed back. It's not going to happen in 30 days. Well, the closing didn't change. We literally went to closing on the 30th day. And so here we are, my husband and I scrambling, trying to get things in order. We had been packing, like I said, slowly. But what God reminded me of, because literally we were that morning, we had closing was scheduled for 10 o'clock. And we had, found a place like a week before to rent, but I hadn't rented over 20 years. I didn't know what I was going to need. I didn't know what was going to happen because I had been in my home for 20 years. So I was so out of it when it came to that. And I hadn't heard back. We were waiting for the homeowners association approval and things like that. And literally, 9 o'clock that morning, I was so stressed out because we got to be out of this place in a few hours. I don't know where we're going to go. My parents weren't here locally. I'm like, are we really going to have to go to my daughter's 1-bedroom apartment and crash until we find a place? And so all these things are going through my head. And God showed me that although your words, you were speaking it, you did not take the necessary actions, to prepare. And this is while you are here. And so my husband and I were dog dead tired because it literally was the two of us doing everything. We had to move a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath upstairs home. And we had to do everything because people were at work. We didn't ask anybody. We didn't coordinate properly. My brother came over at the last minute and he helped. But had I really believed what I was saying, I would have been better prepared. And God showed me that through that little scenario. And thankfully, we were literally en route to the closing when we got a phone call that we had been approved. So we had some place to go. God came through as he always does. But he reminded me that you have to start making sure your actions line up. You can speak it all day long, but if you're not acting it, there's a disconnect. And so that's what I wanted to encourage you today, because you're in your healing journey and you're saying and you're decreeing and you're declaring things, but your actions don't line up. So you're declaring that you want restoration, but you're constantly looking for a way to find that your husband is still cheating, that your boyfriend is still doing something, or that you're constantly self-sabotaging your healing process, because maybe you've already divorced and that's cool. You still need to heal. And so make sure that when you are praying and asking God for things, that you are not sabotaging your own prayers. Make sure that you are doing your work. Make sure you're not walking around saying, I want to be healed, but yet you continue to surround yourself with people that are negative, with people that suck the life out of you, with people that tell you what you ain't going to do, what you can't do, what you should have done, could have done, that are constantly tearing you down verbally. And so you are subjecting yourself to that, because you don't have to be there. You don't have to tolerate that. You can sever those relationships that you need to sever. And so you have to make sure that you are very, very aware and cognizant of your behaviors and what you are doing. Don't allow yourself, sometimes it's not what anybody else is doing to us. We speak down to ourselves because we feel like we don't deserve it. We feel like we're, less than somebody else. You do deserve healing. Healing is the children's bread. It belongs to you. God, he says he desires that you prosper even as your soul prosper. Your soul is your emotions and all of those things. God gave us emotions for a reason. You need to feel them, acknowledge them. Don't try to suppress them, acknowledge them. Don't let them control you, but they're real. And so you have to be very aware of that. So I just wanted to come on for a quick minute today, just to encourage you to believe. Make sure that your actions are lining up with what you're praying, and that they're lining up to what you say you believe. Make sure they line up with what you say you are believing, because I tell you, one day you'll look up and it'll be like, oh my God, how did I get here? You can be healed. You don't have to always be depressed. You don't have to always be sad. You don't have to be down. You don't have to put on a mask. You can have real joy, the joy that Jesus talks about, the joy that the world didn't give you, so they can't take it away. You can have all of that. But it's all in your choices, your decisions, your acknowledgments, and it's in you making sure that you are doing consistent behavior towards your healing. Healing is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not a destination. You are always healing. You are always in a place to where you are protecting yourself and to where you are guarding your heart. I healed from infidelity years ago. It happened 18 years ago, but it took probably about 8 years before I got to that place where I would say I was healed, which mean I had no more negative reactions to the triggers or to the memories and things like that. And I was in a better place. I was in a place called joy. I didn't have to put on a mask. I didn't have to pretend like I was okay. I was able to have conversations with my husband without, going upside his head and yelling and fussing and all that kind of stuff. So, but even today, 18 years later, I'm protective of that. I'm aware of what I'm saying, of what I'm doing, of my behaviors. If there's something that I see that he does or says or whatever that, would be something that would give me pause, I can have a conversation, and so making sure that I'm not being a busybody, being a Dorcas, doing a lot of good stuff, but doing it at the detriment of me and my health and my mental health. And so you are always aware of it. It should not be consuming to you, but you should always be protecting and guarding your heart and cultivating, the joy that you want to have, cultivating the healing that you want to represent, because somebody needs to hear your story. Somebody needs to hear that you too made it over. And I know that if he did it for me, he can certainly do it for you. So I just wanted to come on and encourage you to lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lifted up, and allow the King of Glory to come in. Change and shift where you need to, but make sure that you are walking boldly in your healing, because there truly is purpose on the other side of the pain that you're feeling. So thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, this is Dr. Katrina Esau, the creator and founder of Whole Wives Healing Openly, Leaving Him Exalted. And I hope that you would visit my website, www.drkatrinaesau.com, which is scrolling across your screen, so that you can learn more about me, learn more about the Academy, and see how I can help you along your healing journey. All right, take care and be blessed.